1-410-8525 now to request your free, no-obligation consultation. Hurry, this incredible sale ends this Sunday. Call now, 1-800-410-8525.
Behind every great coach is a great and ever-evolving, game-changing playbook. That's why at Buffalo Wild Wings, we've created the B-Dub Sauce Lab. Here we're hard at work concocting, crafting, and innovating brand new mouth-watering flavors, from sweet to sizzling to downright scorching. Each sauce will be released one by one throughout the year, and they'll be anything but predictable, like any great playbook. Visit BuffaloWildWings.com/Sauce Lab to find out which limited-time sauce is in store now, because they won't be here forever. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
Last year, people who did their own taxes failed to claim $1 billion. But this year, even if you've already done your own taxes, H&R Block can get all of your money back. Bring in your completed return, and an H&R Block tax pro will check it for free and make sure you get every dollar you deserve. Get your billion back, America.
In a study of self-prepared returns, Block tax pros found more money for about 1 in 5 people. Results vary and not everyone receives a refund. Fees apply if you have a file an amended return at participating locations.
Cloudy skies now, and it's going to get worse. Rob Perillo says a 60% chance of rain after midnight tonight with a low temperature of 70. And then tomorrow, not much better. 70% chance of rain with a high temperature of 80. Actually, it's not any better whatsoever, but things should be nice by Downtown Live tomorrow night. So let's get out and see the Marshall Tucker Band. I personally cannot wait.
Local news matters.
Wake up with Nathan and Bernie in the morning on News Talk 96.5. PayPal.
Let's go, Acadiana, with Ken Romero and Dr. John. And visiting with us this afternoon came in from Alexandria, and it's kind of a long drive just to come visit with us, and we do appreciate him being here. Reverend Victor White from Harmony Baptist Church in Alexandria. Good afternoon, sir. Good to have you with us.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Well, unfortunately, the reason you're here is a sad occasion.
Yeah, terrible circumstances.
Yes, it is.
So this was your son, correct?
Yes,
So give the listeners a little brief background on this, because not everybody is completely up to date on this.
Yes, around about March the 2nd, we had gotten a call. We live in Alexandria. My son was living in New Iberia. I have 2 sons, Victor White III and Leonard White. They were living in New Iberia. And we got a call that he was being arrested on March the 2nd around 10:30. It wasn't around about 11:30, 11:45. Well, then I got another call about 5:41 Monday morning from my son Leonard saying that detectives that came by and told him that Victor White III was deceased, and I never got any information from him. And so I kept calling the Sheriff's Department, Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department. Still didn't get any information. So then they switched over to the state police investigator. No information. So I drove down from Alexandria to New Iberia. And within a 2-hour drive, we still didn't get any information. Then when I got to New Iberia, I was told that my son's body was being transferred to the forensic lab at the old UMC hospital. And I wanted to see my son's body. And I was denied in the beginning. They told me they weren't going to let me see him. So I asked the investigator, well, how do y'all know that's my son? She told me that they identified him by his identification. And so I told her, no, I want to see, because anyone could have had to make sure he's my son. Okay, then they told me that the coroner will come in. So I even asked what mode, how did he die, was it by stabbing, shooting, whatever happened. And I was told it was an investigation. So finally, after about 2 hours, we got around 7 something that morning, about 2 hours, 9:30, she told me that the coroner was going to meet me at the Iberia Medical Center. And so they did, the coroner did, and then the supervisor, the investigator, he was there. And so they told me what they were going to do, let me just see his face. That was what they were going to do. They were not going to let me see his body. Only I could see his face. Couldn't touch him, couldn't say anything else. Only me. My wife couldn't come back, nor his brothers and sisters, because he has 8 other siblings. And so we go back, look at it, and I could see in his face that he was beaten. And so then they asked me if I couldn't get anything. Well, they told me that the coroner was going to answer my questions. Well, I asked the coroner, okay, well, what happened? How did he die? And then he looked over at the investigators from the state police department, and he looked at him and said, well, it's an investigation. They will answer your question. So then I asked the supervisor, and he told me, well, it's an investigation. So I said, you all can't tell me how my son died, what happened to my son, and what's really going on with it. And then they told me no, and I just signed saying that I identified it with positive identification.
Wow. And so ultimately, the cause of death was determined to be what?
They said that he shot himself in the back while he was handcuffed to the back, and I was first in a police cruiser. Because initially they said that he was involved in a fight in the 300 block of Lewis Street. Well, we seen the video. My son was not in a fight. There was a fight. My son wasn't involved in the fight. Looked at the video. My son was actually on the inside of the store at the time that they say he was actually on the outside of the store. But he did see the fight. Walked outside, looked, went back on the inside, and then purchased whatever items he was purchasing.
So he was actually handcuffed in the back of a police car. Is that
Yes,
right?
That's my understanding.
So handcuffed in back of a police car.
Behind his back.
Behind his back.
Handcuffed behind his back. Now, apparently he allegedly had a gun or something. Is that what the police are claiming?
That's what they're claiming that he did after they patted him down. After they patted him down, said they found some illegal drugs on him. That they patted him down, placed him in the back of a police car. According to the report, said he become uncooperative. But I'll tell you all this: we didn't find out anything about it. I was on the drive back to Alexandria. After we drove back to Alexandria, someone called me, Pastor Darren Sophus from New Iberia called me and said, "Man, you need to go look up on the pull up Facebook on the Louisiana State Police website." Okay, I pulled it up and I looked, and that's when I seen what they said that allegedly happened to my son. And so I called. It was a Hammond. I can't remember Hammond.
Stephen Hemmons. Trooper Stephen Hemmons.
That's correct. Well, he did the release, so I called him, and he told me, he was on the release and what was given to him by the supervisor. So then when they asked me that I want to speak with the supervisor, I said, well, I met with him. He looked me in my face and told me that he couldn't tell me anything because it was under investigation. And so they asked me that I want to meet with his supervisor. I said, well, it's fruitless now because I was the next of kin. At least y'all could have told me so we could have been prepared for what was going on. Because I know in my heart that my son wouldn't have shot himself, especially they saying it for possession of marijuana. That's what they're saying now, possession of illegal drugs. But at the time it was because he was involved in a fight.
Something just doesn't sound right about this. I mean, so he's handcuffed, and they had already patted him down. They allegedly found drugs on him, but they had found a tiny little amount of drugs, but they couldn't find a pistol. Now, what kind of a gun was it?
Right. Well, they haven't released that to us either. We don't know what. And actually, I'm still confused on the day of death because I even asked that. We hadn't got a return call. It was Henry Rebbe. That's who the coroner investigator was. And we called him to find out, so we made the arrangements, got the body back, and we're still looking at the independent autopsy as well. So, just in case we're not sure.
To your knowledge, did your son own a handgun?
No, not to my knowledge. He didn't own a handgun.
You mentioned independent autopsy. I understand that you've got some sort of fundraiser to raise money for that autopsy?
Yes, sure. We're attempting to do it. It's called #Justice for Vic. It's a GoFundMe account. And also we got an account set up at the Mid-South Bank, which I know it's kind of regional, but I think we have here in Iberia. So, yes, we are.
Yeah. Now, here it is, April the 3rd, a month later. And it doesn't sound like you're getting any cooperation or answers that are going to satisfy you. I mean, Ken and I were talking before you got here, and we're like, man, if a situation like that hit us about our son, we would be, demanding some answers just like you are.
Sure, we did. That's why we got an attorney, Karen Paul Nixon.
Yep.
And so she even sent letters, so we can at least try to find out. So and we still hadn't gotten anything done. I did get his possessions, and they were in 2 different places to say that because on the night of the arrest, I actually called the sheriff's department. They told me that they didn't have him in custody. And then I called again that morning. They say they didn't have him in custody. And then and speaking with the investigator, Ms. Moret, I think that was her name, Katie Moret. And that's when she told me that. She said, I did tell you that your son was shot. No, ma'am, you didn't tell me that. I was driving from Alexandria. You told me I need to come to New Iberia as soon as possible. Be careful. And I asked you because I had spoken with my son, and I said I was the next of kin. And she said, well, no, well, maybe if I did. If I didn't, they would want to apologize. I mean, apology. I mean, we're still looking for answers. My family still is in this way. I mean, it's surreal because of the simple fact that knowing him, the way he smiled and he was energetic and the life that he had ahead of him, to say that he shot himself by being in an altercation, and still today they're still, my understanding, that they're holding true that he was involved in a fight, even though we got video. I mean, the video shows he wasn't in a fight.
I wonder if at some point in testing his clothing, because you'll be able to tell exactly how far away a gun was from his clothing by testing the gunshot residue. And so, I mean, there's a big difference between him holding it back close and then someone being further away. The type of gunpowder will be a different pattern altogether.
Right, and see, that's why we're waiting on the results, and they told us it would be a couple of months. That was my understanding. Was they said it would be a couple of months. They were waiting on the toxicology reports as well, and saying that it would be a couple of months. It can go extended. But what brought me, they have Lieutenant Green, Antonio Green, I think it is. That's the public information officer for the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department. He was asked by a newspaper, and I think it was either in Indiana. One was in Indiana for sure. I know that, and the other one I think was Michigan or someone like that. When they asked him, about giving a report upon it. He said there was no community unrest or community outcry regarding my son's death. And I had begged to differ. They don't. The thing is, we don't have any closure. So,
right.
But they said, so I was saying, you're trying to just throw it away. Well, they wouldn't even talk to me. They wouldn't even give me an arrest record, anything. I'm unable to get anything.
I'm amazed about this thing about there being no community unrest. There's a young man who's dead, and there are no answers being provided. Whether there's any unrest or not, it is your son, and you deserve answers.
You deserve answers, regardless. And it shouldn't have to require community unrest for a father to get information about his son.
Right. Yeah. So in closing, again, it's a GoFund account, and what's the name of the account?
Yes, Justice for the Vic.
Justice for the Vic.
Okay.
Great. We'll put that on our website as well. Reverend, we appreciate you coming down from Ellick. We were very appreciative of you driving all the way down here to be with us today.
Definitely, I appreciate you all. I appreciate y'all giving us an opportunity to keep this story going.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we hope you get some closure on this too.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is Go Acadiana 5:30. We've got news coming up next, and Todd Starnes as well. Hope you'll stick around with Ken Romero and Dr. John.
As a home buyer in today's fast-paced real estate market, you need a competitive edge. You need an advantage that helps your offer stand out from the rest. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I'm excited to tell you how to get just the edge you're looking for as a home buyer. This brand new program is called Mortgage First, and it's exclusively from Quicken Loans. With Mortgage First, the name really says it all. Unlike a pre-approval, we'll verify your assets, income, and credit to underwrite you up front, giving you the upper hand on the competition before you even start shopping. As a strong, confident buyer, you can stay focused on finding the right place for you and your family, knowing you're approved by Quicken Loans. To learn more about Mortgage First, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That number again is 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Restrictions apply. Rate terms and conditions may change until final loan approval. This is not an offer to lend. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states.